Do you see me?
Can you hear my Ghost Adventures on in the background? Can you see my little ducktail in the back? It's Halloween month. What's the date today? I think it's the 11th when I filmed this, which I think is coming out day, like National Coming Out Day. So I think I guess I should come out as a big queer. Oh, my family watches this. I'm in the Halloween mood if you cannot tell. I'm actually feeling kind of good today for once. This is probably gonna take a little while because, as the title might say, we're doing another analysis video. I guess this is what my channel is now. Am I a commentator yet? I want to be. Oh, that's a Curtis Connor thing. It's a Curtis thing, you wouldn't understand. I'm giggly. Keeping in like a Halloween spooky type of thing, we're gonna be talking about a spooky show that is also on the Travel Channel. Unfortunately, it has been canceled as of 2009, I think? Oh, in 2014. I watched it when I was really young, so I guess that's why all the dates kind of smushed together now. The show that we're going to be talking about is Destination Truth. It's still, like, as a 20-year-old, it's still one of my favorite TV shows, probably of all time. Yeah, it's in the same vein as, like, Ghost Hunters and Ghost Adventures, and then it's, like, a reality TV show where people are, like, searching for, like, supernatural creatures and ghosts and demons or whatever the hell that they're looking for. This one, however, they all like each other, and like they all have the chemistry that this team has is just so much fun to watch. And because of their chemistry and how they react to each other and how they all play off of each other, everything just feels so genuine. And I think that's why I still really like this show, because I really look for authenticity in these like discovery type TV shows that I like to watch. Recently I can't get them on my TV for some reason because then you have to pay for them, but but I found like full seasons of them online, and the season that we're gonna be looking at is season 3. It's 2 episodes from season 3, but not like the full episode of each, it's half and half. So we're gonna be looking at season 3 episode 2 and season 3 episode 4. From episode 2, we're going to be looking at the Island of the Dolls part, and then from the episode 4, we're going to be looking at the Chernobyl part. So, this one isn't scripted. I have seen these episodes kind of recently, so I do know what happens in them for the most part. We're kind of just going off the cusp on this one. It might be good, it might be bad, but I'm feeling good today, so I have no reason to believe that these won't be coming out. We're gonna start with the first part of season 3 episode 2, the Island of the Dolls. Oh, it's connected to my Bluetooth headphones. Oh yeah, I'm rich. I got rose gold beats that came for free with my computer. Oh, I probably should mention a little bit about the team. It's run by some of the people come and go. Like, there's a woman called Jael DePardo. She's originally started in Destination Truth, and then she moved to a TV show called Fact or Fake Paranormal Files, which is another great TV show that I might also do a video on. We got Josh Gates as like the leader slash host slash narrator of the TV show, and he's such a funny and charismatic dude. He's also on a new show called Expedition Unknown, but he's such a funny dude that you just want to listen to him speak and just react to things, because he's just like a nice soul. Like, I want to meet him one day because that'd be like the coolest shit in the entire world. So we have Josh, they have like a medic named Rex, I think one of the cameraman's name is Nick. If all of these are wrong, the episode will prove it.
That is creepy.
Oh, I forgot to mention, in this particular episode, like specifically in the first part with the Island of Dolls, they talked to some of the members of other TV shows, particularly the original Ghost Hunters taps, like the people that I mentioned in the not the Ghost Adventures, the Bigfootville video.
I'm Josh Gates. In my travels, I've seen some unexplainable things.
I've seen some unexplainable things, and I've done some things I can't quite explain.
Now, I've pulled together
You're a team armed with the latest technology.
I'm not sure what's out there waiting for me, but I know what I'm looking for.
The truth.
The truth.
Iconic. I should mention, this is like the Island of the Dolls. can't remember, I think BuzzFeed actually went there, BuzzFeed Unsolved. It's that same island. At the time that this episode was made, the next part of the legend, the man who used to run the island, the Don Julio guy, he had like only just recently passed away. So they were on the story really, really fast. One of the things I just really love about this TV show is you get to see like everything that happens. Like you see them travel, you see them have fun like on the night before that they go and investigate. You see them like booking the flights, you see them researching and investigating. It's just, it feels so genuine and I want to believe in it so badly. I do believe in this show for the most part, but like, I don't know. I want to believe in this one. I can't explain a lot of what happens in this episode except for like a couple of things, and so it's like you don't know it's fake and you don't know it's real, but I really just want this to be real.
Never one to pass up an investigation. I figured we might as well explore the local nightlife just a little before heading out in the morning.
Basically what this episode is that they're going to this island of the dolls. They get everything all together and they start their traveling to, it's in Mexico, so they're traveling abroad, and they land and they're just like, you know, we don't want to investigate yet, so they just party all night.
I've never seen so many mariachis in one place in my life.
Like they definitely chose the right person to run a TV show like this. So like many of these like ghosty, adventuring type TV shows, they're talking to locals. They find out that Don Julian, who was the last caretaker, has been found dead by his nephew in like the canal where the young girl from the myth of the island was also found. So they're talking to a lot of locals, and basically all the locals are saying that if you go to this island, you're gonna have some sort of experience, which they do, and it's very, very interesting. They have to get like some permission from the caretakers to be able to film and go on the island, and I believe that they are told that they need to bring like shrine stuff, like they need like candles, candy, stuff like that.
So this is the like spiritual part of the market.
Okay.
Anastasio has been sitting on the farm and he says that he's seen the dolls' heads move up and then back down.
So the dolls move.
Yes.
Through the translator, he basically says that the dolls move. I'm very, very frightened of dolls. So this episode is particularly hard for me to watch. They are going to a market. They have permission to go on the island. They just need to collect the supplies that they will hope that will bring out the spirit of the girls. And they're also just goofing around in this market.
I had bird flu just standing in here. This is a boiling hot thing. I grab it and turn it up. Okay, I know, I got it. Yeah! This is you need, ma'am, have you heard of a spatula?
Alright, so we're finally getting into the investigating part of this island. So they're setting up all their cameras, they have a base camp, and what I really like about these guys is that they're not focused heavily on ghost equipment, which is what I find really difficult about Ghost Adventures and Ghost Hunters and stuff like that. They have like motion sensors, and they have this like perimeter triangle where if something crosses it, it'll set off an alarm, and the person who's running base camp will be like, hey, this side of the perimeter was like set off, somebody needs to go over there. Which I think is really interesting because it's like they're focused on like finding something, but with like technology that makes sense.
I think she knows we're here.
What is wrong with you? Trael said she thought the girl knew we were here. I made some smart-ass comment, and then immediately something splashed in the water right behind me. It could have been anything, but B should keep an eye on those cameras. Hopefully we get a shot of whatever's causing the splashing.
That's another thing I really like about Josh Gates. He is almost like a skeptical believer to an extent. He gets freaked out a lot during his like investigations, but he also keeps enough in his mind to be like, all right, well, some of this is easily explainable, so we're gonna debunk this, and like if we can't debunk it, then it's just unexplainable. It's not always attributed back to like automatically being a ghost, which is like what I really, really like about this show. And another thing, this is kind of referring back to like the equipment stuff where they're using like the motion of base camp. They don't often use like those ghost recorder things. They don't often use that in Obulus, which is the thing that it has like the word bank that the ghosts or spirits can pull words out of. They don't often use the spirit box, which is like the radio frequency stuff that BuzzFeed Unsolved uses quite often that freaks Ryan out and Shane doesn't believe in. They use a lot of electromagnetic related equipment, which kind of makes sense if you think everything has energy, and that can sense a discrepancy in energy fields. So it makes sense to be using that on certain investigations. But like they're using EMF detectors, which is the electromagnetic fields, and they often use their thermal cameras where you can like everything's in like the like red to blue spectrum where you like you see things are hot and see things are cold. It all makes sense that they're using this equipment. It's not just used out of nowhere because this is also for like looking for animals and for other people. Like the show makes a lot of reasonable choices compared to what a lot of other ghost type shows do. We're getting to the well-known moment of the episode. Alright, so
Oh my god.
I mean, this place just gets worse by the minute.
Josh and Jael, who is another teammate, they're in this like shack and there's just like dolls just fucking everywhere.
Temperature, it's about 54 degrees, pretty cool out actually.
They're like on the walls, they're like hanging on like pillars that are keeping the structure upward, and they're still using the EMF detector, and they're kind of just walking around and like the EMF thing starts to like screech as they're bringing it closer to this one particular doll. So they're like, well, what is causing it to be in this specific area? So they're kind of focused on this one doll, and then shit like this happens, and it still kind of freaks me out because it like watch.
If this thing opens its eyes, I will my pants.
The doll opens its fucking eye, okay? I don't get it. I don't get how you can fake that because one, the other eye doesn't open, so it's not like one of those baby dolls that like when you lift it, it's like eyes open and close. It's standing upright and one eye opens, so I don't get it, okay? And it still freaks me out because it's a fucking doll.
It opened its eye. The eye just opened on it.
So at this point, that's like one of the major things that happens in this part of the episode. So once that happens, they continue on with parts of the investigation where they send all the teammates into this one shack. I think it might be the same shack that the doll opened its eye, but I can't quite tell because it's all in like that night vision green color. They send all the teammates in to have like a quiet session where they're just kind of like talking with a recorder nearby to see if anything is speaking through to them. So each person gets about like half an hour or so.
Is there any spirit in this room with me?
Nothing really happens except for the last guy, so we'll see kind of what happens with him.
Please speak. Is the island a good place?
So it's this guy, Mike. He's in a shack during his half an hour of investigating, and he's hearing like noises and he's like seeing things that the camera can't quite catch, but we can hear like the sounds, but we can't see what he's seeing. So this is like, it could easily be somebody from the team just like making noises outside. It's very easy to explain in a non-paranormal sense. The way it's handled in the show, it feels very real, but you also have to remember, like, if you're trying to fake something, you're gonna want it to be as authentic as possible. But I want to believe that they're not doing that. Yeah, he gets some creepy things that happen to him, and that can very easily be explained, but I don't want to explain them. They catch like a couple little blips on their thermal camera of like heat in the distance, and you can't really tell on the thermal camera because it's like they're like little dots and everything. That pretty much ends the investigation on the island of the dolls. So they take all their equipment back and they're starting to go through all their evidence.
Poring over these recordings, amplified. So I've been poring over these recordings, amplified this one section right before I'm about to pack up and leave. There's a few things going on, but listen for what sounds like a kind of a low voice. Let's play it. That sounds like someone saying leave. Josh, this is during your EVP session.
Okay.
Right there.
Oh my
Right there. Right there. Like, I think it's a similar voice as the other EVP.
Right.
And I think it's also saying leave.
They catch a little bit of like sound evidence where they think something says leave or whatever. Two things about this. One, it doesn't sound like leave at all. It just kind of sounds like something hissed in the distance, and like they're on an island. It could just be like a bird or an animal. But two, the island of the dolls is in Mexico, a Spanish-speaking country, and they think they hear an EVP in English. It's nothing.
Steve Gonzalez and Dave Tango from Ghost Hunters. I sat down with them for their expert opinions.
Well, one thing, the doll's eye here.
Oh
my God.
That is creepy.
So what do you make of that?
You know, energy can attach to an item. That's that heat from the day or whatever. But I don't think it would just concentrate on one little section of...
Out of all of the evidence that they seem to catch from this island of the dolls, they catch the doll's eye moving, they catch the noises in the shack, both while the guy is in there and after they like left one of their recorders. They also catch like the heat in like the thermal imaging camera, like the little blips, and there's like a bit where it's on like a tree or something. And this is when they're talking to like the other ghost hunters. Out of all of this though, the only thing that's somewhat unexplainable would be the doll's eye moving. You can kind of explain noises and banging and heat away from it, one being on an island, so things are like getting hot, and two, it's an island, like things make noises. I'll never understand what made that doll's eye move. But unfortunately that's like really the only thing from this particular episode that's somewhat unexplainable. So that's the end of the Island of the Dolls episode, which is still a really good episode. I wanted to start with that one because that's probably the most recognizable episode from this particular TV show.